got our venue, but what about the decorations? Because all the previous venues that we checked, churches for example, they got really nice interior, really intriguing one. Yeah, we had that problem that we could not modify or use fog machine, or the floor was bad, but it was nice looking interior. Theater? Well, they got nice floor for the dancers, yeah, and they got all the rig to put the decorations, but what decorations to put?
Right, I was also worried and very skeptical about our ability to decorate it within ourselves, because I didn't want the decorations to be cheap or fake or too naive or too much or too little. And what would we put on? It was all a bit overwhelming for me, but I was optimistic.
The idea of Lindsay's crystallized video stuck in my head. Actually, the way those ice castles look like, and also the ones that I googled. And I thought, what about faking it somehow? Those icy walls and semi-transparent icy columns. And I thought, what if we fake it using some semi-transparent curtains, shears, and we illuminate them with the white and blue LED lights, so we may get the same effect of having some ice on stage. And if we throw some fog clouds into it, then we get that misty atmosphere, so it may work. And I drew some sketch and I showed it to you.
Yeah, and I loved it. I remember that it was both very enchanting and fragile and minimalistic, quite artistic, not overpowering. Just what I was hoping for. Actually, I couldn't believe you made it.
Well, yeah, it was just a sketch at that time. Just I took a pencil and just drew something on paper, and just
what I loved about it, it was never ever symmetric. It was all moving.
Yeah, I tried to do it like from the beginning. I thought it should be asymmetric, no symmetry. It should be absolutely random. Yeah, improvised. And I started looking for some decorating agencies, and that was another shock. Like, this whole project was one shock after another. Actually, why shock? Because it was so expensive. I looked for all those organizations who. Agencies who organize events like weddings and so on and do all the decor, and when they named their price, I was like, no, sorry.
Is it made out of panda?
Yeah, all we needed was just put in some curtains. So I already drew the sketch. So we just needed like a bunch of curtains and some assistants to hang them in the theater, and that's it. So I switched the direction. Instead of looking for decorating agencies and event organizers, I looked for decoration warehouses, and I found one not too far from Ottawa in Arnprior, just half an hour drive from where we live. So I requested a quote from them, and when I received an email saying that it only costs $10 per shear for one day, I was like, wow, give me 20, like that's great. And then we drove to Arnprior. It's half an hour, and we saw that in that warehouse there were not only shears but also some crystal panels and crystal chandeliers.
And I remember enjoying most of all not the sparkles of the chandeliers, but the kind of a look that you got, that sparkle in your eyes when you saw
I felt like I'm a kid in a Christmas shop. I mean, all those gifts, like, come on, I didn't...
Give me 20,
like, give me shears and give me LED lights and crystal, and it was so fitting. I mean, all those crystal on panels and so on, they were all sparkling. It was like ice. It was really illuminating things. So I included them in my sketch, and I understood that there is quite a distance between my sketchy drawing and what will be there on real stage. For starters, my sketch was, well, just two-dimensional, yeah.
Yep.
So I thought I have time, why not to try to convert it into a three-dimensional model? And I looked for some free software for that, found SketchUp, and I recreated the stage with all those exact proportions. I got those from technical specifications of the stage, where the tie lines are, where the, like, what are the dimensions of the stage, and I started putting all those shears the way I drew them on my sketch, on my drawing, and I immediately discovered that this just doesn't work. All those curtains intersected with each other, so it was some impossible Escher-like thing that I
Almost a maze.
drew. Yeah,
The dancers could only crawl between
yeah,
lines.
and that was another problem, that it was like this is the stage, and those are the curtains going like this, and there is no much space between them. So what dance? Like they literally had to crawl underneath. So I said, like, no, it doesn't work, and we have to redo everything. So after a couple of days of moving all those things around, I came up with this final sketch, 3D sketch at this time, 3D model with grand piano, and I found also 3D models of same chandeliers and dancers and so on. So I just moved them around like a kid, like, okay, let's move this toy over here and that toy over there and see how they work. And it actually worked, and we got this design that at the end turned into the real thing.
You cast your spell.
Yes, that was my spell.